Hold on, it's still cycling. Yes, we are live. Good evening, Great Debate League. I'm here with Adventist Hermes Justice Justin Wilson. He's got a debate coming up this Thursday, April 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. He'll be squaring off with Professor AJ Lowe, and the topic is, you know your topic, Mr. Wilson.
Yes. Do Black people exaggerate their experience of racism? And I'm going to be on the affirmative that yes, I believe we do as Black people exaggerate our experience of racism for many reasons, but whatever the reasons are, we do.
Okay, that is a very, for our group, I want you to know this is a very controversial position where I'm proud that you're taking it ultimately, because I think it takes a lot of guts to come in amongst a group of people who may feel different to you, and you're going to come in and make that point. So I applaud you for taking that challenge, but I must tell you, you do have a formidable opponent before you. So I hope that you have taken the time to prepare. Has your preparation been going well? Have you been doing any research, getting prepared for this?
Yeah, I've been doing some research.
So without giving us too much, brother, just tell me the overall crux of your argument.
Well, the overall crux of my argument is that you can tell that we exaggerate our experience of racism, but because of the fact that we sometimes have to create context for racism, which we didn't have to before, where there's many cases of hoaxes of racial events when it turned out to not be racist. It ends up being someone making it out to be racist. Now, I don't want to bring up like the Jussie Smollett case, but there's many cases that we can point to that's not as famous as his. And then also I probably show statistics that show that people are actually holding back their natural racial conclusions because they fear that it may actually hurt Black people. So, yeah, I'm going to come from those angles, and yeah, I'm interested in seeing my opponent's arguments.
Okay. All right. Well, again, this is a debate league. We don't always agree with premises, but we respect everyone's right to come and present and defend their argument. So, again, I just want to go over some general rules. During your debate, no personal attacks of any kind are allowed. We do not resort to personal attacks. You attack the person's argument, but you do not attack the individual. No profanity and no interrupting, with the exception of the second round, which is our cross-examination, where you are allowed to interrupt and speak freely. We just ask that you do so in the most efficient manner possible. So this is we're not having a ranked match. This is an unranked match. One thing you'll need to be aware of is that you are allowed to use a fact check timeout. If you feel that your opponent has said something that is completely untrue, you could say, I would like to call for a fact check. The judges and our team will immediately try to fact check it. If we can't, we'll get results afterwards. And that could come, if it proves to be true that you were correct in calling that fact check, he presented something that was not factual, he would lose a point. But if you call for a fact check and you were incorrect, you could lose a point from your final score, which could sway who is the victor in the debate. So that's how we do fact checks. You've already registered. Now, we will have an opening statement, which will give you 3 minutes as the affirmative. You'll go first, and then we go right into round 2, which is the lightning round. That's cross-examination, where you'll both be able to freely question each other. Round 3 is question and answer, where we're going to get questions from our viewing audience. So ask questions to both, and you'll get uninterrupted time, 1 minute and 30 seconds to respond to each question. And then you'll give your closing statement. That's also 3 minutes. And then that will conclude the debate. We have a poll set up that we'll send out to all the viewers, and they'll be able to vote and determine who they think is the victor. Now, ultimately, we score the debates using our rubric. We're looking at your persuasiveness, your elocution, that's your ability to speak, your mastery of your subject, how you present yourself as a subject matter expert. Did you get a chance to look at that yet?
I briefly looked through it, yeah.
We'll be looking at those things, so just make sure you come prepared in all those areas. And ultimately, everyone who's done this so far has been a really fun experience. So we're really looking for it, and we thank you for coming on. Do you have any questions for me as we get ready for your debate?
No, I don't have any questions. I just want to get into it.
All right. So one question I like to ask, and this is a controversial question. I say, what would your opponent have to demonstrate to you in order for you to accept his argument?
I would say he would have to demonstrate to me is, I guess, the overwhelming amount of cases of racism to the point where I would say that it's not only blatant, but obvious and intentional. Um, because often when people talk about racism, um, it's unintentional and it's not malicious. And really, it's often, subjective. And so it's really hard to actually nail down like what they're saying is like a racial incident, because it's a lot of it could be projection and so on. So we need to see the over amount of cases of that to the point, and then I guess the term over amounts over. I guess the term a lot of cases is too vague. I would say it would have to be to the degree where um, I could say that it's just like Jim Crow, or it is as high as our criminal cases. There's so many criminal cases that we overrepresent the prison population. There should be an overrepresentation of racism from white people or from whoever, to the point where I could look at a huge chunk of people and say, okay, that's racism. That's intentional racism right there. Just like I can say, well, that is criminality in the Black community.
Excellent points. Okay. So we'll be looking forward to the debate. You have a great evening, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. See you soon. Like we said, that's going to be April 1st, Thursday at 9 p.m. right here on the Great Debate League. See you all there.